In our last segment on setting up a photo studio, part 1, I showed you all the different lights that I was using and I showed you the settings. So now we're going to go ahead and do a portrait session, and I'm going to show you what each light does. We're doing a headshot also. So I'm going to start by showing you the camera room, and this is how the camera room that we're using is set up. As I mentioned in part 1, we start with our main light, which is being shown here to the right at about 45 degrees. Our fill light is all the way on the left side, being bounced off the back wall. And we have our hair light, which is all the way in back, and it's aiming down towards the model's hair. And I also have a honeycomb grid on the hair light, as I pointed out. Also on the background light, there's also a honeycomb grid. And we're doing this session with a kicker light, which is coming in from the rear right side of the studio. And notice that I do have light colored walls here, so the fill light is being bounced pretty much all over the room, and I get more of a softer light than I would if I had really dark walls. And notice also here that we're using a posing table with a silver reflector on here, and what this does is brighten up the shadow side of the face as well as brighten up the eyes. Okay, here we're starting with just one light, and this is the main light, and here we're starting with our main light to the left hand side because I have the model facing a little bit, almost 2/3 view towards our left. You can notice the catch lights are about 45 degrees up on the upper part of the eye, and notice that the shadows are a little bit softened from using our reflector that we have on our posing table. And then here we're adding that fill light, but it's not too noticeable, again because of the posing table that I have fairly close, and it's already lighting up the shadow side of the face. And here we're adding the hair light. You can see the difference. It's just adding a little bit more dimension and a little bit of separation to the hair. And then as we add the background light, in this case here the background light is on honeycomb grid, so it's not really spilling all over. It's just more of a spotlight effect, and it's very weak. And we're adding the kicker light now. And the kicker light I actually have set to about 5.6.5, between 5.6 and f8. And you could see it coming in from our right rear, and it's highlighting the model's hair on the side. So this is pretty much the setting that I'm using for most of my headshots. And then notice as we clean up the stray hairs a little bit, it gets nicer looking. And if we do even a little bit more enhancing, retouching, and I've added a soft focus here, and I've also done some vignetting here in Photoshop. I just darken the edges a little bit so the attention goes more to the model's face. Now let's move our main light to the right side. It's coming in about 45 degrees to our right, and in this case here I moved the model. She's facing a little bit to my left side, but her face is turned a little bit towards the light, not quite 2/3 view, and I made this more of a glamour look, and I just lowered her chin a little bit. We're still using the same lighting as before, except the only difference is that the main light is now about 45 degrees to my right. And we're still using the hair light, and we still have the kicker light. And in this particular image I vignetted it already, so we toned down the sides all the way around so the attention goes more to the model's face. And of course we added a little bit of a soft focus effect as well. And we just made it into a black and white, which is also a really nice effect. So I hope this helped you, and you can set this up even on location anywhere in a small room so that you can get repeatable results over and over again once you fine-tune this. Thanks for watching.